Hello everyone, my name is Hualiang Wei from Zhejiang University. Today, I am pleased to present a recent work entitled ExpPortrait, Novel Expression Generation for Fine-Grained Controllable Portrait Animation. I will introduce the following 4 sections. Portrait animation has become one of the most important technologies for digital humans, virtual reality, game characters, and visual effects. Early approaches mainly relied on GANs or sparse facial keypoints. Representative methods include foaming and face width to width, which use a small number of facial landmarks to drive motion. Although these methods can animate a portrait from a single image, they often suffer from texture distortion and geometric collapse when handling large pose changes or exaggerated expressions. Later, parameter-driven methods such as headgan and live portrait introduced 3D or flame parameters to improve controllability. These methods separate identity, pose, and expression more effectively, and some even support real-time animation. However, because flame is a relatively low-dimensional linear model, it cannot accurately represent highly nonlinear facial deformations. With the rise of diffusion models, methods such as diffusion avatars and the Hunyuan portrait have significantly improved the visual realism and the temporal consistency. Nevertheless, they still struggle when generating unseen extreme expressions. This brings us to 3 major challenges. First, extreme expression generation is difficult. When driven by unseen exaggerated expressions like wide-open eyes or gaping mouths, models often produce texture distortion and geometric collapse. Second, insufficient control granularity. Sparse 2D keypoints or flame parameters have limited expressive capacity and cannot capture fine-grained facial details. Third, temporal and 3D inconsistencies, flickering, identity drift, and skin tone jumps remain common in generated videos. These limitations motivate our work in ExpPortrait. Our motivation stems from 3 observations. Data scarcity leads to extreme expressions unseen during training. Single modality control results in coarse and ambiguous control, and modality misalignment makes fine-grained control impossible. From a theoretical standpoint, we introduce a novel dual-layer control mechanism that combines image-level and parameter-level guidance within a diffusion framework. We also demonstrate that a high-capacity neural head model, namely NPHM, can effectively replace flame for facial animation. Furthermore, we propose new solutions for multi-frame fusion and temporal consistency enhancement. From a practical perspective, ExpPortrait can significantly benefit digital humans, virtual reality, gaming, filmmaking, and human-computer interaction. Now let us move to the methodology. Our method takes 3 inputs. Selected keyframes from the source video, NPHM expression coefficients, and the corresponding font shading renderings of the NPHM mesh. The keyframes are encoded by a VAE and processed by FrameNet. The shading maps go through an expression guider. The expression coefficients are transformed by XPadapter. These 3 conditions are then fed into the mainnet via concatenation and cross-attention. Finally, a VAE decoder produces the output video frames. To achieve precise control, we propose a dual-layer mechanism. The image-level control uses an expression guider, an 8-layer 3D CNN that processes NPHM shading maps to provide coarse pose, shape, and rough expression. The parameter-level control uses ExpAdapter to embed the 100-dimensional NPHM expression coefficients into 768-dimensional tokens, which are injected via cross-attention to enable fine-grained semantic control. The two controls complement each other. Image level avoids ambiguity, while parameter level provides precise semantics. Because a single reference frame loses too much detailed information, we introduce multi-keyframe injection. We apply k-means clustering on the expression coefficients to select the most representative frames. Then, FrameNet encodes these keyframes into multi-scale features and injects them into mainnet via cross-attention. This strategy maximizes expression diversity, provides rich context, and enhances identity preservation and fine detail fidelity. For temporal consistency, we insert a lightweight temporal transformer, the motion module, into three resolution levels of mainnet: 384, 192, 96. This module performs temporal self-attention to capture long-range interframe dependencies, and simultaneously fuses appearance features from FrameNet, expression semantics from ExpAdapter, and geometric lighting from the expression guider. As a result, it eliminates flickering and texture sticking, guaranteeing natural motion and temporal coherence to avoid skin tone and lighting jumps across video segments. We propose an appearance-consistent inference strategy. Locally, we apply ACM between overlapping frames to harmonize their statistics. Globally, we align the latent statistics of the entire generated video with those of the keyframes. This ensures that the final output has consistent facial textures and natural skin tones throughout long videos. We train on the ensemble dataset using Stable Diffusion v1.5 as the base model. Training follows a two-stage strategy, first learning single-frame distributions, then adding temporal attention on 24-frame sequences. During inference, we use k-means with 5 keyframes, which we found to be optimal. Quantitatively, ExpPortrait achieves the best results on all metrics: PSNR 28.0, LPIPS 0.0195, SSIM 0.847, FID and 38.86, AED 0.6028, and CSIM 0.9913. It shows significant gains over Han portrait, e.g. plus 0.87 in PSNR, and substantially outperforms GAN-based methods like live portrait and foam. Our ablation study demonstrates the contribution of each component. Adding the motion module reduces FVD from 210.45 to 182.5 V and LPIPS from 0.56 to 0.110. The appearance-consistent strategy reduces FID from 42.63 to 38.85 and improves SSIN by 0.0085. For keyframe selection, k-means with 5 clusters gives the best quality. Increasing the number of keyframes improves metrics with only an acceptable drop in FPS. Visualization results in Figure 4 show that ExpPortrait produces the most realistic teeth, accurate mouth shapes, and natural skin textures even in extreme poses, outperforming foam, face width-to-width, live portrait, and Han portrait. In conclusion, ExpPortrait achieves novel extreme expression generation, overcoming limitations of prior methods. Its dual-layer control mechanism, combining image-level and parameter-level inputs, enables fine-grained control. The method produces high-quality, high-fidelity facial animations with superior temporal and 3D consistency, and outperforms state-of-the-art across all quantitative benchmarks. However, we acknowledge two limitations. Inference speed is not yet real-time, and generalization to in-the-wild videos remains challenging. In future work, we will focus on improving efficiency and robustness to build a more general-purpose portrait animation framework. Thank you for listening.